Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the Cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and we're going to be looking at the price color-coded by the 20-week SMA of Bitcoin. We are also going to go through an exercise where we look at all Bitcoin pairs color-coded by whether Bitcoin is above its 20-week SMA or below its 20-week SMA. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and again, check out the sale on Into the Cryptoverse Premium at intothecryptoverse.com. This chart shows you the price of Bitcoin, and it color codes it based on whether Bitcoin is above the 20-week or below the 20-week. So when it's above the 20-week, it's color coded green. When it's below the 20-week SMA, it's color coded red. One of the things you'll note is that in all prior pre-halving years, we spend a good portion of the year above the 20-week SMA and a decent portion of the year below the 20-week moving average. You can see this happened in 2019. In 2015, most of the first half of the year was below the 20-week, and then a lot of the second half of the year was above the 20-week. And in 2011, the first half of the year was above the 20-week, and then the second half of the year was below the 20-week moving average. So again, when you talk about seasonality of the pre-halving years, it's about half green and half red. If you look at the halving years, it's mostly green. Mostly, right? Mostly. It tends to be more than half green in the halving years and even in the post-halving years. But in the bear market years, right, your 2014, your 2018, your 2022, is mostly just red. In the pre-halving year, it's half red and half green. In the halving year, and the post-halving year, it tends to mostly be green. And that is how the cycles have historically worked for Bitcoin. Now, I've spoken a lot about how altcoins perform against Bitcoin, and I wanted to go through just a couple of examples. So let's take a look at how Ethereum performs against Bitcoin. Sorry, I want to let me change what I mean. We're looking at the Ether Bitcoin valuation, but we're also looking at it color coded by whether Bitcoin is above or below its 20-week moving average. So when Bitcoin is above its 20-week moving average, the Ether Bitcoin valuation tends to do quite well as long as it's the halving year or the post-halving year, right? So this is the halving year and then the post-halving year. Here you have the halving year and then the post-halving year. It tends to do quite well. But in the bear market year and the pre-halving year, Ethereum, the Ether Bitcoin pair doesn't tend to go up even if Bitcoin is above its 20-week moving average. Now, in 2022, you can see that it wasn't as bad compared to 2018, right? And 2019, what's interesting is that Ether Bitcoin went down when Bitcoin was above its 20-week moving average. You can see even today, right? Like Bitcoin's been going up, and we know that Bitcoin's been above its 20-week moving average because this is shaded green, but the Ether Bitcoin valuation has been slowly going down. Now, it is noticeable that it hasn't been going down as much, and of course it pulls into question, well, is it because this time is different, or is it just simply because we're sort of waiting for that event to occur? I mean, if we were to drop back down to these levels, then it could just be more so similar to what we saw back in 2019, where this main drop here, occurred in say July, August, and September. So I think it's still worthwhile to follow the Ether Bitcoin valuation to see, how does it perform, and how would it perform if Bitcoin were to go back below its 20-week moving average. If you look at the end of 2019, you can see that it started to pop up, but once Bitcoin got below its 20-week SMA, it just fell back below again to these prior lows. So it's an interesting chart to take a look at. Now, what's more interesting is to look at other alt Bitcoin pairs, right? So if you look at the ADA Bitcoin valuation and you look to see how that performs, look at how in the halving year and the post-halving year, ADA Bitcoin tends to do well when Bitcoin USD is above its 20-week moving average. But in the bear market year and the pre-halving year, ADA Bitcoin tends to just go down no matter the direction of Bitcoin USD, right? Sound familiar? That's why we talk about the Bitcoin dominance a lot, is because we say the Bitcoin dominance should go up no matter the direction of Bitcoin USD. Here's an example of that, right? ADA Bitcoin went down. Sometimes it went down when Bitcoin was below the 20-week, when it was color-coded red. And sometimes it went down when Bitcoin was above the 20-week, when it was color-coded green. But the point is that ADA Bitcoin went down no matter the direction of Bitcoin USD. Therefore, there's where comes the thesis that Bitcoin dominance goes up no matter the direction of Bitcoin USD. It's because we see this trend on so many alt Bitcoin pairs, right? I mean, you can look at a lot of them. Look at the Solana Bitcoin pair, and you'll see a very similar thing this cycle where Sol Bitcoin has been bleeding whether Bitcoin USD was above the 20-week SMA or not. And just one more, just for, just to sort of cover another one, Dot Bitcoin has gone down no matter whether Bitcoin was above the 20-week SMA or below the 20-week SMA. This is exactly what we've historically seen, is that alts drop against Bitcoin in the bear market year and the pre-halving year, no matter the direction of Bitcoin USD. Hopefully this chart helps to clarify exactly what I meant so that you can better understand how the altcoin market behaves at various phases of the cycle. Now, in the halving year and the post-halving year, we might expect altcoins to outperform again once we get into that phase of the cycle, when Bitcoin's above the 20-week SMA. Now, during that phase of the cycle, alts can still get wrecked against Bitcoin if Bitcoin goes below the 20-week SMA. But if Bitcoin's above the 20-week SMA, the altcoin market, at least the ones that are going to survive, tend to outperform, and they tend to sort of recover at least some of their losses. Now, some could stay in downtrends against Bitcoin forever, but the ones that will live to see another cycle can find local lows against Bitcoin or macro bottoms at some point, I would argue, over the next 3 to 8 months or so. So that's what I'll be looking out for. Hopefully this video was useful. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and again, check out the sale on Into the Cryptoverse Premium at intothecryptoverse.com.